Hello and welcome everyone, I'm the Grim Gamer and I'm so excited to be bringing you my first hero concept video for Marvel Rivals. Obviously, Marvel Rivals has many characters in it already, however, Marvel has thousands of characters ranging from some exciting heroes and villains in their roster that Marvel Rivals could choose from. This gives Rivals so many opportunities to add many different heroes to the game, whether they're heroes, villains, or in between. With that in mind, I think we should think about some potential hero concepts that would be cool and exciting to add to the game. For my first one, I really want to do Ghost Rider. Maybe I'm a bit biased here because he's by far my all-time favorite hero, but he was also voted the most wanted hero to come to the game when the Rivals devs did a survey to find out the people's most wanted characters. Also, in recent updates, his 1 million BC variant was revealed in the game as a mural on the wall of the Kunlun Heart of Heaven map. With that happening, I believe that he is coming soon, especially with Mephisto being name dropped in a couple of hero interactions, and him also being involved in the Collectors and Gambit storyline in the recent updates. Before we go any further, like this video if you enjoy it, comment if you'd like to see any more of these, as well as who you'd like to see in these videos, and subscribe and hit the notification bell so you can be informed on any new content on this channel. It helps me out a lot and I really appreciate it. Now for these videos, I intend to go a little bit into their origin story so that you guys can kind of understand the powers and where they came to be, so that when I'm talking about their abilities in the game, you guys can kind of have an understanding of where they might be coming from. If you guys do want to skip the origin section, I'm going to post timestamps down in the description so that you guys can skip it if you would like to. For this one, I'm focusing on Johnny Blaze, as I feel like he's the most well-known Ghost Rider, plus he's my favorite version. If they wish to, they could also do skins of other Ghost Riders such as Danny Ketch, Robbie Reyes, Alejandro Jones, or Parker Robbins, if they wish to do so. I've heard that Parker Robbins and the Hood have actually been leaked as their own heroes, so that could also be a little bit of a different thing. But especially with the Lady Loki skin that just came out, I can definitely see them doing like a little side character for Ghost Rider that could be Alejandro Jones. I'm going to be going off of the comics version because there was a movie version of Ghost Rider as well, but for this I'm going to be doing the comics. Essentially, Johnny Blaze grew up with his father Barton Blaze, who was a famous motorcycle stuntman, with his mom, Naomi Cale, being absent most of his life. Barton died in a motorcycle accident, which is when Johnny became adopted by Crash Simpson, who was another motorcycle stuntman who Johnny became very close to when his father passed. Johnny discovered that Crash had become sick with terminal cancer. To save his life, Johnny made a deal with Mephisto to spare his life for his own soul. Mephisto fulfilled this deal, but days later, Crash died in a stunt. The deal bonded Johnny Blaze with the spirit of vengeance known as the Ghost Rider, who can be called essentially the Devil's Bounty Hunter. The rider has traits to come out automatically at night or in the presence of evil. He has many enemies ranging from Mephisto, Blackheart, Lilith, Blackout, Scarecrow, many more, especially in the dark side of Marvel. He has many powers which can include Hellfire Manipulation, Vehicular Symbiosis, which is how he can use his Hell Cycle and transform it, Hellfire Weapons, and he also has Superhuman Strength, Stamina, Durability, Speed, and a Regenerative Healing Factor. His main power stems from the Penance Stare, which is lethal to anyone who bears a soul and who hurts others. He can gain other powers depending on his state, but for the purposes of this video, I'm going to just stick with these, as this is what I plan to use for his concept. Now, as we jump into his abilities, the first thing I want to say is I believe he should be a Vanguard. This role fits him very well because he's a very tanky character in the comics, and he's very invulnerable as well. He's going to be similar to Thor in the fact that he will focus more on damage and being in the opponent's face rather than shielding damage. He's going to have a base health of 650 and 2 main attacks which he can swap to anytime. The first main attack is going to be Hellfire Blast. Ghost Rider will fire a projectile shot that does 35 damage every hit and can be fired at every half a second. He's going to have 10 blasts per reload, and there's going to be a 20-meter range with significant damage fall off after that. The second main attack is going to be called Chain Pull. Ghost Rider will fling his chain 15 meters in front of him and can either grab onto an enemy and pull them to 5 meters in front of him, or he can use it as a grapple. The speed of the grapple will be between Daredevils and Moon Knights. Daredevils is really quick, while Moon Knights is really clunky, so I feel like right in between there would be a really good one for Ghost Rider. The cooldown for this attack will be 5 seconds. He's also going to obviously have a base melee attack where he can just punch the enemy, causing 20 damage per hit. His first power attack is going to be called Chain Swipe. Ghost Rider elongates his chain and does a massive AoE swipe up to 10 meters in front of him, causing 45 damage per hit. It will have a cooldown of 5 seconds and can hit any target in front of him in the little radius that the chain hits. His second power attack is going to be called Hell Cycle. Ghost Rider will get on his Hell Cycle and ride it forward, hitting any enemies in his path for up to 15 meters. If the bike makes any contact with an enemy, it's going to cause an immediate 45 damage. Also, within the path that the bike took, Hellfire will erupt and stay on the ground, causing tick damage of 10 per second for 5 seconds for anybody who stays within the path. This attack will have a cooldown of 15 seconds. His third power attack is called Hellfire Wall. Ghost Rider will erupt a Hellfire Wall 15 meters in front of him. Any enemies caught between him and the wall will take an initial 20 damage and a tick damage of 10 per second for 5 seconds if they stay within it. Any projectiles will not be able to pierce through the wall and melt on impact. This will force healers and other characters to go to the sides, leave the area, or find other ways to maintain that connection or fight. The cooldown for this ability will be 12 seconds. Now let's get on to Ghost Rider's most exciting ability, his ultimate, which is obviously going to be the Penance Stare. With this, Ghost Rider will grab onto enemies within 5 meters and will stare into their eyes for 2 seconds, causing a 100 base damage. This will also scale an additional 10% of the damage they've done between their most recent death and his ultimate. This will make the attack brutal for good DPS and even other tanks, but may not be as effective against most healers unless they're being very aggressive. If he gets a kill within 5 seconds of the ultimate, he will get it back, similar to Bucky. He cannot be stunned out of his ultimate if he makes the connection to a target. However, within the time he will become very vulnerable, which is why he needs to time it right. He will get an additional 100 armor during each ultimate, but if it's used at the wrong time, he can be killed off very quickly. This will make it crucial for the opposing team to focus on him during his ult, or else it could have a snowball effect and potentially lead to a team wipe or at least a team fight win. The ult will take 3,300 points to get. Ghost Rider is also going to have 2 passives in his kit. His first one is going to be called Hellfire Durability. This is going to be where the more damage he does, the more shield he gains in a match. Obviously, his toolkit does not have a shield similar to Doctor Strange or Emma or anything similar to that. This means that it will allow for a more aggressive playstyle and will be necessary in order for him to continually survive. He will gain 10% shield per damage done, which will go away if he doesn't do damage within 4 seconds. He will have a cap of 250 on the shield and will not be able to go anywhere past that. His second passive is going to be called Hellfire Burn. Every attack Ghost Rider does will have a burn effect. If an enemy is hit by any attack 5 times within 3 seconds of each attack, they will accrue a burn tick damage of 5 damage per second for 4 seconds. I know that sounded a little bit complicated, so let me break it down to you. Similar to Phoenix, her attacks deal like the 3 little ticks, and then it'll do the burst damage. So any of Ghost Rider's attacks, whether it's the shots or the projectile fire or his whips or anything, he's going to build up 4 on each enemy. Once it hits 4, they're going to get a burn effect, and that burn effect is going to do 5 damage per second for 4 seconds. Finally, he's going to have a team-up ability with Magic. Magic is going to be the anchor for the ability. Ghost Rider will be able to teleport to any part of the map by using his chain to create a Terran reality. This will have a cooldown of 60 seconds and he cannot bring anyone else with him. This helps it not be another Doctor Strange ability where he can just teleport everyone to a certain area. This will be only him and will be beneficial if he needs to get to a point very quickly, such as during the end of a match where the point is being taken, or it's like towards the very end and he needs to get there. He can do it, but no one else can go with him, which is a slight downside. It'll help keep it balanced, but will also give him a little bit of an edge compared to some other characters. I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you so much if you've reached this point. I really hope you enjoyed this hero concept. Myself, I love Ghost Rider. I think he's one of Marvel's coolest heroes by far, with some others, but Ghost Rider is by far my favorite. If you guys have any ideas on Ghost Rider or any others, leave them down on the comments. I'd love to hear what you think. I'd love to hear if you guys also have any other ideas for hero concepts that I could do. Just if you have any comments, go ahead and leave them down below. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'll see y'all later.